Ink is really useful for trading with villagers, for dyeing your wool, for dyeing your prismarine to get dark prismarine. Loads of applications and you can never really have enough of it. I'm going to show you a Minecraft 117 survival farm for squid that will get you loads of ink. Don't you go anywhere. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to another episode from me, Avomance, in my Minecraft 117 farm tutorial series. Today, we are looking to farm these fellas behind us for their lovely ink sacks. This is going to be a squid and also a joint salmon farm, so you get ink and food at the same time. And we're going to be using a mechanic that is brand new to Minecraft 117. We're going to be using these fellas here, the gorgeous Axolotls, come in loads of different colours, and they really don't like squid or fish very much. Let me demonstrate. I'm just going to pop a squid in there. This poor fella is going to get instant attacked by the axolotls. Really don't like it at all. Let's put in a couple of fish as well. The fish don't fare much better. The axolotls are really aggressive and they take them out and leave their drops. As a result, we can make an amphibian-driven AFK farm. Now, the real trick to this farm is finding somewhere where the squid and the salmon will only spawn inside your farm. Now, river biomes are probably the best option for that, but not these big wet river biomes here. We want a dry bed river biome, which you quite often find around the edges of deserts. So have a real search around. You can do a little bit of terraforming, but the less water, the better. For example, this one here, down on the right hand side, we've got a lot of dry riverbed. We do have quite a lot of wet riverbed, unfortunately, on the left. So we're going to need to do a bit of terraforming to make this perfect. Come along with a load of sand and some dirt and some gravel or something like that and fill in the water and you should end up with something that will work beautifully. Alternatively, keep searching your world until you find a river biome with almost no water anywhere near it. That's going to take a lot longer, but it's got a lot less terraforming involved. It's up to you, really. And I've ended up with something that looks a little bit like that. Loads of water gone, most of the water fairly out in the distance. This should be fine. Now, you need to find yourself an area in the river biome that is 8 wide and as many long as you can possibly get. A good way to do this is to look at where the biome is listed in your F3 screen down on the left, right there. And when it changes, you know you've left the biome you're interested in. So right now I'm in the river. You can see that changes to desert. So I need something that is 8 wide. So how far along can I come here? That is river, but it's going to be over that part there. So let's try here. So that's river. That's river. So I can jump on that. And this is river all the way down. Will this go to 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that is also river right there. And if I come across this way, this is almost exclusively river, except for that little bit, which I can live with, coming all the way along to about here. And then that becomes desert right there. So I think that here, that's as far as we can come, which means that we come to there as well. That can become more grass, and that is going to be our shape. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20. 8 by 20. That's a pretty decent size. One final check that as much of this area as possible is the biome river. Yep, it is. That means it's going to spawn squid and salmon for us. That's good. Now, we've got to do just a little bit of digging, then some water placement, and then more digging. First off, I'm just going to remove this row behind this orange line because this is the row that we're going to start building on. I'm just going to line this with cobble. Doesn't matter what you use here, it just needs to be a solid block because it's going to be the back wall of our farm. That goes along the entire length and we can remove out this orange as well. Now, squids and salmon will spawn from Y level 62 and below. And as a result, I need to dig downwards, not upwards. Sea level is Y62 and I am currently standing on the topmost level that the squid will spawn. So the water can't be any higher than this, otherwise it's completely useless. We can dig down quite a number of blocks, but we don't need to go down too far. Remember, this place is really dry. That means that all of the squid are going to spawn in the area that we give them, and that doesn't have to be very big, so save yourself some work. But first off, just take away this top layer. That's the entirety of the top layer taken out, and then put water all the way along this back row. You should find that it flows all the way to the end of your 8 wide hole. But if you were to dig another one, it doesn't dig across it. That's perfect. We can now start to dig a little bit further down. I'm just going to neaten up the sides by taking out these 2 roads, and then we can get on with it. Come to the end of the flowing water, this part here that hasn't got anything flowing onto it, and bring in 1, 2 blocks. So not this first block, this second block. And under the water, place another row of blocks all the way along. This is going to be your supporting wall, and it's going to be where you're able to flow your items all the way into a collection system. So that should give you a chamber that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 wide by however long you have made it. You can then dig this down, and I would recommend digging it down 5, maybe 6 blocks. We've got a hole in the ground that is covered by water that looks exactly like that. We can then come underneath. Now, if we were to throw something under here, we've got downwards flowing water. So if I chuck that up, you can notice it does not float. It goes to the bottom. And that's because these are not water source blocks. However, if I was to fill this up with source blocks all the way along, and I just flow it along this side as well, all the way to the edge, that is going to create a load of water source blocks for this bottom level. Like that. If I then throw the item again, you'll notice that when it sinks, it floats up to the top of that first level and just sits on the top. I'm now going to completely fill this up with water source blocks. And once you've done that, you can then get on with the structure of the farm. So the way to do that, again, come along the second level and just fill it along all the way exactly like that. And once you're done, if you want to, you can fill up the walls to make it look a little bit pretty. It's entirely up to you. That's dug down now. I filled it up with moss and cobble, but that's just because I wanted to look a little bit fancy. And I've put at the bottom some lighting. That is going to stop drowns from spawning inside of your place, because the axolotls will attack the drowns, but the drowns might attack them back, whereas the squid and the fish will not. That'll stop your axolotls from getting damaged, although they will regenerate if they're not killed. Use as many lighting blocks as you need. I've used 8 just to make sure I've got plenty of light in there. Next, place a row of signs all the way across. You could use fence gates as well, but signs work pretty well, and that will stop the water from flowing into that last socket right there. We've already got some squid starting to spawn in. We now need to dig this trench down. So this comes down just 1 here, and this needs to go across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you then put a bucket of water there, that will flow all the way to the edge, but if you take out another one, it won't flow over. Then on the one just before the end, take that out and come along and dig this out too, until again the water stops flowing, which is right there. And then take out the last one all the way to the end like that. And you should find you've got a complete system. Depending on how long you go, will depend how many trenches like this you need to drop. Make sure you don't go over the end like I did. Come into the bottom section down here, and in this block, take that out and place a hopper facing into the dirt block the other side of it, and then come outside and dig down the distance that you have gone, which is going to be about there. You can see the hopper is right there, and then grab yourself a chest and place a double chest there and there. That is going to feed everything into that chest through the hopper. Then get a step, any set of stairs, and place those stairs upside down any way you want. That way works quite well. That'll allow you to open the chest still, and the water will not feed through. That's the best way of doing it. We can now dig down some access to this set of hoppers and chests down here, which means that you can collect it anytime you like. You might want to put some light in here if you wish as well. It's entirely up to you. We're nearly done. We just need to put a little bit of a rim around it and some way to stop as many squid as possible from falling down into your channel. I think a really good way to seal this up is to use a lid of glass with a little bit of light in it, so as you've got light coming from the top and the bottom, even less chance of those drowns to spawn then. Now you could block this off. It doesn't have to have any light in it at all. It could just be more cobblestone if you wanted to. But what you do really need to do, just for safety, is have a trapdoor in this corner up there so as you can access that long channel that you've made if there's any problems. And also, at the other end, another channel that you can get into the thing if there's any problems there. These are kind of your access points. Makes it easy for you to be able to fix any problems that might come during the life of your farm. Then simply come to the middle of your farm and you want to use scaffold to get 32 blocks from the bottom of your pool. So my pool bottom is 54, so I want to go up 32 from there, so that makes it 86, and build yourself a little AFK platform up there that will keep you happy from any phantoms should they come and attack. Something simple like that is absolutely perfect. You could even have it less fancy than that, just a wooden box or something. Make sure you put some light in there so things don't spawn. If you wanted your farm to only be squid, make sure that your pod is more than 32 blocks above the top level of water. Then the salmon won't be able to spawn because they can only spawn within 32 blocks of the player. That means you will only get squid because they can spawn a lot further away. Time to add our amphibian predators before we do a little bit of AFKing. Now I recommend that you get yourself about 5 or 6 of these fellas into here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now it doesn't matter if you can't find 6 of these because you've got to go to the lush caves. They're not even available in this current snapshot, but they will be. You can then get them in a bucket the same way as you collect any other fish. Replace if you've knocked it off like I did, or close your trapdoor, and this fella is primed. Those axolotls will float around in there quite happily for as long as you need them to. You don't have to feed them. If you can only find 2, you can breed them up with tropical fish and you can get baby axolotls. They're just as aggressive, but they will grow into these puppies. We're now going to do 1 hour AFK in our pod upstairs and see how much we get. Let's go. That has been pretty much exactly 1 hour. So let's get ourselves back down there and see what is going on. I'm really interested to see whether or not we have got a decent amount of ink and bone meal and dead salmon that we can play around with. You'll notice that every now and again you get an axolotl in this chamber. It doesn't matter because you can see they can swim straight back out again. And it also means that if you get the odd squid stuck in here, which does occasionally happen, those axolotls can finish them off as well, which is a good thing. What have we got inside our chest? Actually, not too bad. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, very nearly 10 stacks of ink, nearly 3 stacks of fish, and about 10 bone meal. Bone meal, quite a rare drop. For 1 hour, with such a simple farm, that ain't too bad. So there you have one really easy squid farm for Minecraft 1.17 survival that you can make in about 10 or 15 minutes, I am sure. Very simple to make, very easy to do, not too difficult to get the axolotls. Breed them up with tropical fish if you can only find 2 and get loads of ink. And that ink will be really useful for trades, for colouring wool, for colouring prismarine and any other sorts of things that you would need black stain for. If there are any other Minecraft 1.17 farms you would like me to have a go at, do let me know in the comments below. I'd be really interested to know what you would like. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you enjoyed them, and I will keep on making them. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.